Hi again, welcome to another episode of Under Control, the show just for Visual Studio subscription administrators. I am your host, Xavier Morera, and thanks for tuning in. Today, I'm focusing on some of the common questions around renewing and the renewal process. To help me today, I have some special guests, Jacqueline and Kirk Selby. Would you both mind introducing yourselves?
Absolutely. My name is Jacqueline Wittes, and I have been with Microsoft for close to 5 years now. My current role is a product manager on the Visual Studio subscriptions team, and I'm just so excited to be here. Thank you.
And my name is Kirk Selby, and I've been with Microsoft for approximately 28 years and everything from sales to the consulting side and licensing. My focus now is on Visual Studio and GitHub. And thank you for inviting me to this event.
Thanks to both. I'm happy to have you with us today. Kirk, just to get started by kicking things over to you, I'm looking forward to hearing all the insight you can share with us today. We're eager to understand better how the renewal process works because as Visual Studio admins, we want to make sure we do our part and can also help subscribers continue using their benefits and remain licensed. So let's focus on enterprise agreements because I know that's the type of agreement that the majority of our admins fall under. We know enterprise agreements can run over 3 years, and there's a certain criteria for the customer and Microsoft in terms of performing certain actions. Usually, a Visual Studio subscription admin isn't one of the ones involved much in the renewal process. But for background information, can you give us kind of a high-level overview of what's happening in our orgs usually leading up to the renewal?
Absolutely. So I'm going to keep this very high level just to make it very easy to understand and to talk about the life cycle of an enterprise agreement and who's involved. So if you hear a title, you'll understand who they are. So the first step from the Microsoft side is we educate the customer. And that will be the account executive or the salesperson, and most likely the CE or the commercial executive, which is the licensing person. So we will talk to a host of people, maybe the CIO, different departments, procurement, and we will explain the benefits of an enterprise agreement and how it will help the customer. And there's two things I emphasize. Number one, easy to administer, and you'll see that when I start describing it. And number two, really valuable, it locks in your prices for a full 3 years. So if there are price increases, you still pay the price from a couple of years ago. So education, and if everybody says, yep, let's go ahead and do this, we bring in what's called an LSP, which is your reseller. And your reseller it's their job to help you understand the paperwork and some of the steps involved in this. So the paperwork, there's two documents that are always signed. And one of them is the umbrella, which is the MBA, Master Business Agreement. And that's literally the general terms and conditions of an enterprise agreement. So now we have kind of the terms and conditions, and underneath that are the enrollments. And enrollments are how you sign up an entity for purchasing products. Now, I've done thousands of these, and it usually turns out either one of two ways. So it might be a medium-sized company, and they say, I only want one enterprise agreement, cover my entire company. Everybody buys through that. Simple, one enrollment. Or a large multinational company might say, I have 15 divisions. I want everybody to handle the budgets and their own buying. That means they'd have 15 enrollments. So it could be one or it could be many enrollments. After those are signed, it's time to start purchasing products. And in the case of Visual Studio, you assign licenses. Now, here's the beauty of the easy administration. Once a year, you do what's called a true-up. And that is 30 to 60 days prior to the expiration, 30 to 60 days prior to the anniversary date, you fill out a form and you tell us how many products you bought. And again, your LSP or reseller will help you through this process. It's absolutely great. After that's filed, that happens at end of year 1, year 2, and year 3. At the end of year 3, the enrollment expires because it's a 3-year enrollment. And you have a decision point. Do I continue it? Which is literally you say, I want to continue it, same terms and conditions, everything stays the same, and it just keeps going for another 3 years. Or do I want to sign a new one? Now, one more point that I wanted to emphasize when I was talking about the benefits of easy to administrate and also locking in prices. In one of the steps, one of the beginning steps after you say you want to do it, we do what's called a price sheet. And that price sheet delineates the initial order. So here's the products I want to buy, here's the quantities, and here's the prices. Those prices get locked in for 3 years. All right, so that's kind of the life cycle of an enterprise agreement.
Kirk, you make me really excited that our team deals with the Maya Manage portal. So you get to deal with the paperwork and we get to take over where the admin get to administer those subscribers. And that's kind of one of the things I wanted to make sure we pointed out, because as Xavier said, the admin may not be involved in this purchasing process at all. So the terminology shifts a little bit when you get into that Manage portal. And one of those big differences I see is like your paperwork has the primary contact, where once we get into the portals, it's called the super admin. So I know admin can see on their Manage portal who the super admin is, as well as other admin on that agreement. And that's just a nuance there that does shift when our team takes over. So I want to stress for our admin that when it comes to new agreements, particularly if you don't see that new agreement, it probably means that your super admin hasn't added you to it. So that's one of those things you really want to make sure happens, or else it'll start looking as if maybe subscribers disappeared, or you'll get notifications about this. I know my agreement's getting about to expire because I got emails, and I don't know what to do with that because I don't see this new agreement, but I know somebody's working on it. It's a lot of those problems are alleviated just by making sure your super admin has added you as an admin on that agreement.
Okay, that's really helpful. So enterprise agreements, true up, primary contact, super admin, those are all terms that are very important to know. And talking about super admins, here's a note for our viewers. We always recommend having at least 2 super admins on an agreement, which accounts for any situations that may come up where a subscriber or another admin needs something. If one super admin is unavailable, then there's at least one more who can facilitate things. And now that we understand about how we got here, the purchase process, all the paperwork, and the roles of everyone, I don't want to get too far away from where Kirk left us because I feel like things were getting interesting. So, Jacqueline, can you tell us more about what happens for the admins and subscribers when agreements are extended or when new agreements are executed?
Well, my favorite are the extensions because nothing changes. The agreement number stays the same. The subscriber list stays the same. We don't need new admin added. Everything just smooth sailing through that next 3 years. Now, when a new agreement number has to happen, that's where there are 2 options as far as the paperwork that Kirk has. Whoever is dealing with that procurement, they're the ones who have to make a decision. Do we want to have the automatic transfer of subscribers, or do we want them to be done manually? Now, as far as the subscriber, and I will talk more in detail on that transfer of subscribers if you're not. And but from the subscriber side, nothing really changes for them unless for some reason an admin chooses to, hey, I want to give that. They had professional this year. I want to give them enterprise. Then they'll see their benefits kind of upgraded, and that will hopefully be exciting for them. But either way, at that 3-year or 6-year point, whenever it's extended or renewed, the subscribers should have a refresh on their benefits and be able to access Pluralsight again, LinkedIn Learning, and any of those benefits that they used once, they can come back in and use again. Super exciting. But their access won't change. And in many cases, it should be completely seamless. I will talk again if the automatic transfer of subscribers isn't done, then what changes for them?
Okay, so let me see if I got it correctly. For an extension, it's seamless for the subscribers, but the admin, something may or may not change, right?
Well, for the extension, it stays the same for the admin. It's when there's a new agreement number that it can change.
Okay, that's pretty important. So, what else do I need to know, and what should I expect as an admin?
Sure, and that's where the automatic transfer of subscribers becomes important, and that decision that's made. Now, this is usually a company decision. We have seen some choose not to have that subscription or the subscribers transfer automatically. And one of the reasons they may do that is there's a reorg. Maybe they want 2 agreements because there's a new division and they want to move some developers in one and another. So to automatically transfer all those subscribers means they would be on one new agreement, and then it would have to be broken down and put to where they're supposed to be, and it can get a little tricky. So the option to not have subscribers transferred immediately allows the admin to be ahead of the game, so to speak, when it comes to renewals. So I always recommend, as that new agreement number comes, whether you're going to automatically transfer subscribers or not, to take time to review that subscriber list. Make sure everybody is there that you want and that they're at the right subscription level, because that's when it's automatic, that is the list that's going to go immediately into that new agreement. And that's where that seamless transfer happens. But I do want to stress that we get calls sometimes where it's just my subscribers disappeared. I don't know what to do. Are they okay? Do they have access? And the answer is yes, they're fine. You just may not have been added as that admin to that new agreement. So when you look in the drop down, it's not there. Your subscribers are missing. Looks like a crisis. It's not a crisis. Just reach out to that super admin and have them add you to that agreement.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was saying that we did a live walkthrough of exporting subscribers and moving them over in a previous episode. So that's great. But can you just summarize me the 3 different scenarios that you might find yourself as an admin once your agreement has expired?
Sure. So there's that agreement extension and nothing changes. Everything just keeps working as it has been. Then there's that new agreement with an auto transfer of subscribers. In that case, the subscriber keeps, and I would assume most admin are familiar with the term GUID, where it's that unique identifier for their subscribers. But in that case where they're automatically transferred, that GUID stays the same. So there's the only thing different is they get that refresh of benefits. Now that new agreement where there's a manual transfer of subscribers, the admin will need to download that subscriber list, edit it as appropriate, and then re-upload it into that new agreement. And if that choice is made, your subscribers get a new GUID. And the one shift in that is that the Azure assets, if they're using those individual Azure credits, I want to stress it's the individual credits, not anything to do with your corporation. They will have to they'll have to move those assets to Azure, and Azure itself will start sending emails when it gets close to that needing to happen, so that they make sure there's no interruption in what they've set up for prototypes or virtual machines, whatever they're doing with those Azure credits.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Now, I have some viewer questions, and I think this might be worth discussing and relevant for most. It says, I think we're getting a new agreement this year. Is there any data besides my list of subscribers that you recommend I export and save?
Yes, I would always recommend that you download that subscriber list anytime a new agreement is coming into play. It's an amazing way to make sure you have that historical record of who had what level, how many seats we had, all of those things. But I would think that maximum usage report is a great one to pull down, because it's going to give you that historical usage as well. And
Okay.
I think beneficial for what Kirk was mentioning earlier about the true ups, right?
Yeah, that's a coincidence, because that's what I was going to recommend. So I'm here in the Manage Subscribers tab. I'm going to click on Dashboard, and here it is, the maximum usage. I could just click on here. It's going to take a little bit of a moment, and there it is. Here it is, the maximum usage report. There you go. Going back. Thank you, Jacqueline. Speaking about the maximum usage report, Kirk, you mentioned something about the true up. Can you expand on this topic? And I know this is an interesting topic for a lot of our admins.
Absolutely. So I mentioned that this is very easy to administer, and that is because only once a year do you need to report to us what you bought. And I had said that your LSP or your reseller is there, as a parent, I'll say, to hold your hand. So they're there to help you with the process, and they'll actually contact you 30 to 60 days prior to it being submitted and say, I'm here to help, which is absolutely fantastic. You can use the maximum usage report to give you an idea of what you added during the year. So thank you for showing that. It's a great example of how easy it is to administer this. And so once a year, you do your trip at the 30 to 60 anniversary date, and it's that simple.
Okay, that was a great overview. I think that's all the topics we had. Do you have any parting words from you two?
I think, well, just as a whole, our team is always looking for ways to make sure that this is as seamless as possible for you as admin and for your subscribers. If there's ever a case where it's not, then just know that support is there to help you along the way. And other than that, thank you for having me. This has been really fun.
Thanks to you.
And I thank you for having me too. And I'd say if you want more information about what an enterprise agreement is, put it into your search tool. Go look it up. There's lots of information on the internet about what it is, how it works, and the process. So thank you.
Okay, thanks to everyone. And that's it for today. We are here to help you. This is our hub, and you're welcome here anytime. Just drop us a note in the comments that we love to answer your questions, or here's something you'd like to see explained in a future episode. I am Xavier Morera, and I'm helping you keep things under control.